All right, friends. We are going to discuss today about LS Run, which is a start program for uh, LS Dyna calculations, and it has some bunch of cool features. So I would really like to show those features to you. So let's begin. Uh, if you, I'll just start sharing my screen 1 second. So this is my screen. Oops. Okay. So you have a bunch of apps open. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, there you go. So I have my LS run on the taskbar. I will just start it, and you guys can actually see a window, right? And if I just maximize it, uh, let me be very clear. I love personally. I love this small window. Reason being, I don't have to move my mouse too long. If you just can see this, uh, it becomes cumbersome to move along. Okay, so that's my personal preference. But if you guys want it as a larger window, you guys can do that. Okay, no objection. So now if you can just see this, we have file, settings, licenses, manuals, and help. Now this is all drop down menu program. So this is all drop down, and most of the things are here. At the same time, you have some shortcuts here. Okay, so we are talking about a student version. I'm not recommending anyone to go with a pirated version. It's really okay to just go ahead with the student version, which is available on ANSYS student website. Make sure you download ANSYS LS Dyna Student 2020 R2. Okay. Now, talking about this lsdyna.exe is a double precision version. I'll explain what is double precision in some other video. What is the difference between single and double precision? So we have input file. Now, if I just go to input file, which is with regards to, let's say, I have some input file. You guys will also have an input file in the installation folder. Okay, so if I just go to installation folder, 1 second, guys. So the installation folder is, yeah, there you go. So I have this sample file. Let me share screen again. Yeah, so I have this LS-DYNA sample, and here you can actually see various sample files. These sample files you have to actually run. Okay, so you can actually run them. So if I just go for, let's say, airbag deploy, I will open it. Now I'll do one thing. I'll just copy this airbag deploy in some native folder, not in C drive. So I'll try to copy it in documents temp. Okay, so I think I will have a temp folder. Yeah, there you go. Create a new folder for ls run. Okay, and I will go for another folder which is calculation number 1. Okay, and here I will be pasting this file. Okay, so airbag deploy is my first file. So I'll just open this file. Now you can actually see the input file name as well as path. So the complete path is there. We'll go from top to bottom. So we talked about drop down menu. There are many drop down menus. We'll see them later. Then we have input file, and we have NCPU, that is number of CPUs. So all of you know, if you press shift control and escape, you will get how many CPUs your computer has. So if you go for performance, if you go for advanced or open resource monitor, you will actually see number of CPUs here. Okay, so now my machine, it's an AMD Ryzen machine. It has CPU number 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it has 8 CPUs. So similarly, you can easily find it out how many CPUs your machine has. And that is also possible to check here. So if I just close the resource monitor, you guys can check it in performance. CPU, can you see this? So socket is 1. You have 4 number of cores, and you have some 8 CPUs, logical processors. Okay. Now for LS-DYNA student version, it is restricted to 4 CPUs. So even if you change it to 8, or even if you change it to 32, it doesn't make, it's not going to make any difference. It will remain at 4 CPUs. Okay, so make sure that you are selecting 4. I'm only talking about LS-DYNA student version. Okay. Those who have licenses, they can use as many number of CPUs as allocated by the license. Okay. Now the preset is very important when you have both versions, single precision as well as double precision. So what you can do actually here, I will tell you. You can have another button here which says save preset, which is not here in our student version, but it will be save preset. Okay, so that version will be there, uh, or that button will be there, I'm sorry. And then you have expression, which is very simple. Then preview, it's going to give you a preview of the command prompt which is going to launch. And then we have this file, which is a single file. As you can see, you have only one file here, LSDyna executable in ANSYS 2020 R2. So nothing much to change in this case. And then these are some exciting buttons. Okay, this is of course add job to queue. So for example, if I delete this job, this is a delete job command, I can add this to queue, so it will start running. And why I'm getting this black window, the reason I'm getting this black window is I have toggled this on. So toggle to start LSDyna in a command prompt, that's why I'm getting this window. Okay, so you can see your student license, demo license file, student license, etc, etc. And you can see LSDyna not yet started. Okay, so it says LSDyna not yet started, and now it says LSDyna running. You guys can see this, right? And this is another important part which I missed, I'm really sorry. It is to do with memory. So forget about the run, it is to do with memory. Now many guys are confused with what is exactly this memory. This is a RAM allocation, okay, for any explicit analysis, uh, and of course implicit as well. You need a sufficient amount of RAM to store the random data. Okay, it's all numerical methods, we all know this, and it is going to take some time to actually initialize. So this memory, if you make it auto, then this number will change. Now this has to be actually capital, but this is 20 megabytes of RAM. Okay, it has nothing to do with disk space, it has to do with random access memory. If you make it auto off, then LSDyna may give you error that you may have to increase memory to some value. Okay, so in the earlier managers it was not possible to auto allocate the memory. Now in LS run it is possible. So you can simply go to on, and you can, according to the file size, memory is going to change. So I'll show you the example. If I just go for any of my current data, let's say some students data, if I have, or seat run I have, so I have some seating system calculations here. Let's say this is a big file, 9 megabytes file. Can you see this? The memory increased to 29 megabytes automatically. Okay, now if I change this to, let's say, some other file, for example, if I go for seat run frontal impact, and let's say I have this transform file, can you see this? It is increasing to 32 megabytes. So based on the element number of elements, based on the total file size, you are going to get a different memory allocation. Okay, and now you guys can see the normal termination happened. Expected time to finish, ETA, is a common term for Ola and Uber, but you can, this is expected time of completion, it should be, but people will understand it better. And now what you can do, you can have this particular D3 plot opened directly in LS Prepost using this particular button. Now you can change number of things what can get opened in LS Prepost. So if I want only the input file to open in LS Prepost, I don't have to open LS Prepost individually. I can simply click on this button and it will open. I can go open D3 plot individually. I can open keyword file and D3 plot in a combined way. That is also possible. So this is neat feature when you want deformed state to be saved. Okay, so you have these files, D3 HDT, you can save other files, no file, etc, etc. Okay, so I'll just open D3 plot and I'll click on LS Prepost. So the default LS Prepost which is being set by the user will come and open this particular file into the program. Okay, now you can change ls prepost. How? I'll show you this. Go to settings, and if you want an updated ls prepost to be loaded, you can simply change this ls prepost version to the newest version which you want. Okay, so how to change that? You can go to documents, C drive. You have this lstc program files, lstc. Yeah, there you go. And you have this ls prepost, let's say 4.9. That's your latest version. I'll open it. So what will happen now? You can actually see here where my cursor is, ls prepost version 4.7.19. I have changed this. I'll click on done, and now I will click on this same button. It will open the d3 plot file will now open in ls prepost 4.9. You will see this. Yeah. Okay, so this is 4.9 beta version. It's under testing. This is pretty latest, and you can see that it is working. Okay, so this is how ls prepost will give you the error, or sorry, give you the file or animation, and you can simply close this. If you want a keyword file to open, you can change it to keyword and click on ls prepost. So whatever is there inside, or whatever is this input file, will open in keyword, or the latest one. Okay, now we did not started this run. Okay, we never started this run. We only checked for memory. That's why it is opening only the file which we ran. Okay, and you can actually see this is a .k file. This has nothing to do with simulation. I don't get animation bar. Fine, and it opens in 4.9 now. The next part is the switches. Okay, I told you that if I make this on, my run will never go into queue. It will still remain this black window. Unless I quit this window, my other calculation will not start. So the whole point of using ls run is to make sure you are running calculations in queue. Okay, so if you don't have queue, you have to manually control everything. That is something which we are here to avoid. So what we are supposed to do, we are supposed to start various calculations which we have already debugged. So debugging has to be done earlier, and we have to deselect this part. So once this analysis is done overnight, without any user interference, the next analysis will start, or next run will start. But if you keep this on, then there is no possibility that your analysis, the next analysis, will start automatically. These are SW1, SW2. You guys will always see this in the black window or the message file, what it individually means. You can delete this from the queue. Okay, so it's not going to delete any of the data. You can just simply delete this, and this is rerun the selected job. So this is something where you don't have to actually run the job again. So if I click here, what is going to happen? It will take it as next queue number. But if I click here, rerun, then it is going to rerun. It is going to delete all the files, and it is going to rerun the existing job. And another important thing here, which is a shortcut, is about messages. Okay, so you can open message file. So for example, if I want to open a selected job in text editor, so cannot find executable. Let's see. I'll go to settings. You have this notepad++. I'll go to whether I have it or not. I will just check that. So if I go to program files, I think it will be 86 notepad. I am not sure where it got moved. Okay, I think it is in yeah, there you go. It moved into 64-bit. So I typically use notepad++. It's a free tool, but it handles larger files. So if I have this as notepad++, and what I will do, I will just click on message and this button, same as ls prepost. I'll click here and it will open. Okay, so you guys can see this. It is showing all the data, what is the input, what are the various things, and this is the input, airbag deploy, native file format, etc, etc. Okay, and it opens in text editor. So if you want any other text editor to use, you can simply change this. So it is highly customizable. You can simply do various changes, and I think you will be good to go. Okay, And you can have this manual directory, so you have all the program manuals, so you can go to manual, theory manual, uh, R11, R11, R11. You will come to you will get R12, R12, R12. All these things are easily possible to change. And in file, it is only the exit button, so you can just exit. I hope you found this video useful. Try to run it, try to open the files, try to do play around things, few of the things. You can send switches, how much time is left and all these things, by clicking on the appropriate switch and sending it. Okay, send switch for the selected job. So you have to select the job which you guys are running, and I think you will be better off. Okay, so I hope you found this video useful. Make sure you subscribe to our LNO YouTube channel if you haven't subscribed yet. Make sure you share this video to as many people as possible, those who are willing to learn LS Dyna. And happy to see you soon. Bye.